in particular those of the Acropora and Poecilopora families. These are measurements in centimeters of the average diameter, or the measurements between the largest diameters and the smallest diameter of every Acropora and Poecilopora colonies that we encounter in this segment. I've been doing this job for 4 years now. In this way, it is possible to follow the progress and health of the Maldives reef over a period of 4 years.
So on the Maldives ocean floor, there is so much hard coral to choose from. A habitat that is millions of years old, that is home to so many organisms that the divers never cease to be amazed looking at it.
We also decided to organize this cruise for other guests, not only for the scientific team of professors and university students. So we now have other guests aboard. And during the cruise, the professors hold evening seminars talking about their work, the sea, and in particular, the Maldives, so as to give as much natural science information as possible to our guests.
These guests are in fact very lucky. Not only do they get to lay in the sun, dive into the ocean, have some welcome massage and Ayurvedic treatments, but they can also obtain a lot of biological information that help to understand the ecosystem that they are visiting. The most interesting thing about this cruise, in my opinion, has been that as tourists that love to dive, it has given us the opportunity to learn more about what we are going to see. And so we don't only see the coral reef, but we learn how to distinguish the various types of coral based on the water's depth, etc., etc.
For 10 years now, I've been taking my vacation on board a boat, and I really don't want to do it any other way, as I really live the sea in a special way. This year, the idea of a scientific cruise interested me because I think I can find out more about the formation of the islands and also be able to know more about the species that populate the sea, both flora and fauna, and I can have something more than just a relaxing holiday. I can be more informed.
It's important to give these professors the merit they deserve, because with great zeal they continue with their work of monitoring the marine world. My principal activity consists in counting what we call the recruits, that is young coral that has recently started to grow, and to see if the reef is really recovering. That is, if I find new coral, I fundamentally count these recruits at different sea depths, divided up between different types of coral, obviously. And so I pass all of my dive counting these things. I count them within a frame size of controlled dimensions so that I can return back to my calculations and my numbers in a precise area. This is a normal builder's tape measure, an instrument that everyone recognizes, but that I take underwater because it is not bulky, and I can put it on the ocean floor, and it gives me the rectangular frame size of 40 by 60 centimeters that I need. The other thing that I do marginally, as is a part of the program, I take several topographic measurements of the reef. In order to do this, I need a simple blackboard on which I have made out a design on which to take the measurements. My measurements are the direction, the depth that I can measure with an old underwater computer, and the distance or the height that I measure with a portable underwater sonar that gives off a sonar band of 24 degrees, and it then tells me at what distance are the objects.
Well, I do the survey of the underwater seascape, practically a visual survey. I use non-destructive methods to note the actual percentage of the covering of the ocean floor in different categories that are called growing forms, that is, different growth forms of the different ramifications and so on, so as to see how much, what it is, what has remained, eventually of the tridimensional substrata, and I survey the percent of the covering using a visible calculation of about 20 square meters.
There are those who carry on soaking in the sea, and there are those who study on dry land walking on an island. We are here on the island of Guraidu, and we are surveying the characteristics of the island. We are basically on a storeroom. It is a beach storeroom. We can easily see the composition of the sandstone. It is the sandstone that compacts the fragments of madrepora, and this structure is called normally beach rock. It is one of the structures